Welcome to I Love the Library. Well, something exciting has happened in the world of genealogy. On April 2nd, 2012, the 1940 census was released. Genealogists haven't had anything this exciting since April 1st of 2002, when the 1930 census was released. Now you may be asking yourself, why does it take 72 years for a federal census to be released? Well, I looked it up on the National Archives website, and it said that there's a 72-year restriction of use for privacy reasons. So that's why it takes 72 years to get the federal census released. This census is extremely important because it actually shows a lot of things that happened during the Great Depression. For one thing, there were all kinds of migrations that took place in the United States during the Depression. And one of the questions that was asked on the 1940 census was, what was your residence April 1st, 1935? And then, of course, it asked them what their current residence is in April of 1940, so that they can get an idea of the migrations that took place. There's also no secret that employment was a big problem during the Great Depression. One of the questions that was asked was for a 14-year-old person or older and their employment status. It wanted to know whether they were working in the private sector for profit or in a non-emergency government work. And if not, were they working in emergency government work? And it listed the WPA, which was the Works Progress Administration, and the NYA, which was the National Youth Administration, and of course the CCC, which was the Civilian Conservation Corps. And of course these were programs that were put in place by President Roosevelt to help with the employment problem. It also asked on the census how many hours a week the person worked, because of course there was underemployment too. There is a problem with the 1940 census if you're raring to go and get started looking for your ancestors. There's no name index in place yet. And it said on the National Archive website that it would be about 6 months before they get a name index in place. So if you know where your ancestors lived in 1940, you can get started right away because you can search by location. If you don't know where they lived in 1940, you might want to wait for the name index to come out in 6 months. Here at the library, we have Ancestry Library Edition and Heritage Quest genealogy databases for our customers to use for free. Ancestry Library Edition has to be used here in the library. Heritage Quest can be used from home with your library card. So, of course, the library has all kinds of books on the topic of genealogy. And I grabbed some from the shelf here in Detroit Lakes. This one is Love Cemetery, Unburying the Secret History of Slaves by China Galland. China Galland was doing her family history. She actually tracked them back to Texas where they were slaves, and she found the plot of land where the slaves were buried. And she takes up the job of actually turning this into a nice cemetery. This one is Jacob's Well, A Case for Rethinking Family History by Joseph A. Amato. This one is Tracing Your Irish Ancestors by John Grenham. And of course the library has all kinds of books like this one on different ethnic groups, whether it's German, Irish, whatever. But these books really help try and track your ancestors back into the country, in this case in Ireland. This one is Basics of Genealogy Reference, A Librarian's Guide by Jack Simpson. And this one has all kinds of ideas as far as records and things to track your ancestors. And it has a lot of online information. So if you're into genealogy, or if you want to get into genealogy, come on into the library and I'd be happy to help answer any questions you might have. So I hope to see you at the library.